Hey there lads and ladies, it is Petrifying Pumpkins here with a Skyrim VR news update. That's right, I said Skyrim VR, not Firewall. So why am I talking about Skyrim VR, I hear you ask? Well, because the good folks over at Bethesda are going to drop a nice new update for us, most likely on Monday. And let me tell you, this is a very fucking juicy update, and it has me actually really hyped. I'll admit, I thought Bethesda just dropped Skyrim and then kinda abandoned it a bit. Now don't get me wrong, I love Skyrim VR, and they did a very good job bringing it to PSVR, but the patches were few and far between. We didn't really get much post-launch support, but this patch is actually quite huge and adds not only the standard bug fixes that you'd expect, but new exciting sounding features. So let's jump into it. This information was posted to the Skyrim PSVR subreddit by the user Jess Bethesda, who is a Bethesda employee. So let me just jump right into the patch notes for Skyrim PSVR update 1.4.40.0.8. So the first thing is they've added a new main menu experience. I'm guessing this is just the menu that you see when you boot up the game. Normally it's like the black background and the Skyrim kind of logo there. I get the feeling, judging by what the wording here, you know, they're calling us an experience, I feel like it might be now more tailor-made for VR. I hope. I think it might be like if you've played PlayStation VR Worlds, that main menu where you're kind of like surrounded by the options. At least I'm hoping it's some cool shit like that. But it's anyone's guess really what that is. It does sound cool though. So the next thing, and a very exciting thing, is globally improved visual fidelity, particularly on PS4 Pro. Now I am a PS4 Pro owner myself. I actually bought the PS4 Pro specifically to have it in time for Skyrim VR, and I was a little bit disappointed when I heard that there wasn't actually a huge difference between Skyrim VR on the normal PlayStation versus on the Pro. Now there is a difference supposedly, but it's not huge. The wording on this patch here though sounds like it's going to be initially what I was hoping for. Of course I could be wrong, but I've often heard people complaining about Skyrim VR graphically, whether it's on Pro or flat, just like how faces kind of look very blurry and stuff like that, especially at any kind of a distance. Now I'm not saying this will improve draw distance or anything like that, but any improvement in visual fidelity is certainly going to be most welcome. So that's fucking cool. The next point here is increased the maximum value for the height offset slider. So I'm pretty sure that just means you can be taller, which is no harm. It's not exactly one of those huge things, but it's nice to have. The next point is various bug fixes. Nothing too exciting there, we kind of expect it. And then we get into the changes that are specific for when controlling the game using the PS Move controllers. So from here on out, this is all to do with the Move controllers, not DualShock 4. Okay, so the first point, in direct movement, change the secondary X button to move the player backwards. So that sounds like you no longer have to point the Move controller behind you. If you want to move backwards, you can actually just press the X button on your secondary hand and boom, automatically reverse it. And that should allow for things like using the bow and arrow and walking backwards at the same time. I'm pretty sure that was a huge kind of complaint with the current version that we have now. So that's sounds like there's a fix right there. This next one is also like a much requested feature. It is added a new option enabled by default to show hands when sheathed. So that just means that when you don't have a weapon, the character hands appear on the screen rather than the Move controllers. Now that's an option. If you prefer the Move controllers, then by all means have the Move controllers on, but I know a lot of people wanted the hands to be there, and now they're finally getting what they wanted. The next one is to sheath and unsheath, and that has been moved to hold secondary circle button. So I think how it was currently is that you just press the button and it sheaths and unsheaths, and there was a lot of accidental sheathing and unsheathing. So this way you have to hold it, and that should fix the kind of accidental nature of it, hopefully. Next one, adjusted angle for spell targeting to be more comfortable. Now I didn't realize that this was an issue, but I'll take their word for it. I'm assuming maybe people were getting their hands cramped or some shit trying to aim their spells. I'm not a big magic user, I didn't really notice it. So the next one then is the the existing swimming has been moved to a new option called realistic swimming. Swimming by default now uses direct movement style control. That's actually a very useful one for me. I'm definitely going to use this. The way it is now, when you want to swim in this game, you actually have to like mimic a breaststroke type thing while pulling triggers. It's very kind of like, it's nice that it's there. It's a nice touch for the immersion or whatever, but it's difficult, and especially when you're going against the current, it's a bit of a struggle. You know, I always find it kind of curious how they added in that realistic swimming, but then they never bothered added in realistic lockpicking. I just don't understand, because you got the move controllers. Surely that's perfect for lockpicking. But whatever, this is about swimming, and that's another nice touch, and I'll take advantage of that. The next one is the added option for head-mounted display relative direct movement instead of controller relative direct movement. So what that means is you're going to be moving towards where you're looking rather than where you're pointing your move controller. Again, it's an option. If you prefer it that way, it's there. Next one sounds very cool. Actually, one of the most interesting ones is they've added a new option for realistic bow aiming, which uses both PS Move controllers to aim. So the way it is now, you kind of use your left hand to draw up the bow, your right hand to pull the arrow back, but that's all your right hand did. It was kind of only used for pulling the arrow back. This way, your right hand will actually, like, I'm guessing it will move the arrow up and down kind of, rather than just straight back. That way you can kind of fine tune the aim. It sounds like it'll be more difficult maybe, but like maybe more rewarding then if you master it, I think. Finally, players can now point at map markers and get information on them in local map mode. That's not exactly a huge thing, but it's nice that it's there. I'll take it. And that's it for the patch notes. I can't wait to test this patch out myself, see this new menu experience, hopefully get a nice boost in graphical quality, seeing as I do have the PS4 Pro, and I'm definitely going to be testing out the realistic archery. They could easily have just forgotten about us, but here I am getting hyped for Skyrim all over again. Now I'd be interested to know what you guys think of this. Will this make you go back to Skyrim VR, or will it make you even consider buying Skyrim VR now that they've got these nice features? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, so that's it for today's video, lads and ladies. Thank you very much for watching. We've recently hit 500 subscribers, so that's fucking cool. Hopefully the growth continues. If you want to help me out with that, then consider doing the usual shite. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.